Game week 2. I forgot to unmute my mic. Lee's late. Point deduction. But welcome back to the Fourever Arsenal podcast. Apologies about all that. We're gonna get into it all. Big up James, Jordan, and Lee, who's muted as well. So perfect. He's fallen down the same.
Look, he's lost it.
Let me unmute him here. Lee, what are you rambling on about there?
You know damn well what I'm raining about. You horrible lot. Just because I get it right, you thought, right, I'll tell you what, knowing that I was getting in late today, you'll put that thing up, the link, at 5 to 8, right? And I'll tell you what, I'm going to say this now. I got up at 7:45 this morning, or woke up, see there weren't no link, and I said, well, I ain't getting up out of this bed until that link comes, right? Because I know what you're like, right? 5 to, I've had to jump up. Some have had a wee and get down here like it's a joke. You know what I mean? Like you absolute. And I'll tell you what, I'm gonna bring. I'll get it with James because he's in your company a lot, and I suppose it wears in and wears off a little bit. But Jordan, you're a disgrace. Jumping down with like you know what I mean? Like you should be in my corner and you're out of order. But no, you just. Yeah.
I was about to defend you, Lee.
I was you.
I was.
I was, yeah. Right, you know what I mean? Well, you couldn't defend me about 5 minutes ago when he was talking about it. You should be going out, but you're a disgrace. And then I find out he's playing in some Mickey Mouse game of football today, and that's why I'm up early, like, you know what I mean? All because of him.
First and foremost, I've worked very hard this past 12 months to change around this reputation of mine. And I think it's safe to say now, my reputation precedes me. I am a man that's on time. I am a man that doesn't let the team down. I am a man that has turned around old bad habits. So for you to still use my old bad habits as a reason for your new bad habits, I think it's quite low, if I'm honest with you.
Was you not late to the last one? Didn't get up to the one before last? Is that correct?
There's context behind that one, really.
You know, your alarm didn't go off, or you didn't set your alarm properly. You forgot to set your alarm, like there was only one episode to go. So yeah, I suppose your reputation does precede yourself, and guilty of the charges.
Excuse me, mate.
Do you know why? Because you're a twat. That's why, like, you know.
Where's Sharoy, man? Where's my
Sharoy? He's in James's pocket these days, I hear.
James is a smart man. He knows he might need a lawyer this season, and he's brought one in to the Gooniverse.
Once you get a star up, there's a target on your back. I get that. Like,
Jordan, what was that?
Yeah, I've got a pod for sure coming as well, actually. So just
Lee. You're missing out. Does Dan Potts do soliciting or whatever you call it?
I don't know. You better ask him that. I don't know. He might have got in late last night. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? So
you obviously Julian representing Lee at the next trial.
Julian, no, don't tell me about Julian, please. Let's move on very quickly, like, you know.
Well, we can move on. But I just want people to know that Lee should be Dr. Point. But here we are. The elder statesman of the group likes to push his weight around, and Jordan doesn't seem to want to.
I'm easy.
What was you saying before he was late?
Nothing.
That's good enough for me. That's good enough for me. You know what I mean?
James, it's a long season for us, mate. But yeah, we'll stick together in this. I'm sure we'll come out.
Well, I will, because he started slagging me off. I was going to defend him, but that's all right.
Haven't you learned anything from Lee judges over the years? Never trust a man.
That's unbelievable, it coming from you. This is unbelievable. Hey? Gee, it's like, it's like putting a mouse in charge of the cheese factory with you. I tell you, like, you know what I mean? It's unreal. No way. I don't know how you get to become. I don't know how you become the man that makes the decisions. You know what I mean? But
because my reputation precedes me. I'm
Joey Barton of this podcast. You're the Joey Barton of this podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to start calling you Joey from now on.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
How can he call me? Nah, I'm done. I'm done. That hurt, Lee. That hurt. My indignation.
It weren't meant to be a compliment. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? So.
On that note, before you hurt me anymore, and before the comment section go mad because we're having a bit of banter before the football talk. But listen, we've won, people. We've got 6 out of 6 points. It's a big win at that. We're all smiling. It's Sunday 8 a.m. and it's not usual that I'll be up at this time smiling, joking around. But here we are. We are what we are because Arsenal are 2 games in, 6 points up, and another clean sheet. At a team at a ground we didn't score against last year, against a team we didn't score against over both games last year. As usual, I'm with Jordan, Lee, James to discuss that, but make sure you hit the like button. We're just over 5 minutes in, so hopefully we're just over 500 likes in, but you know what the motto is: 1,000 likes before the show ends. Make sure you're trying to show some love too. And let's get into it. Lee, straight back over to you. You was there, got home late. What was it like? First away game of the season at a ground where, we know what happened last season. What was the mood like? Was it excitement? Was it nerves? How was the fans?
That's a great point. Great thing to say, really. I think it was like very mixed. I think like a lot of people were excited about the season. A lot of people confident, and there was a lot of people going, "Oh, like I'll take a draw if this was there." I get all of that, got up there. I don't know about how you guys feel, but I was feeling very, very confident. And then when Spurs win 4-0 and Man City win and all that, you think, oh, right, we can't afford to slip up now. There's a little bit of that, I think, going into the game. Now, 5:30, so follow that sort of thing. It was a lot of, I don't know if I said you on telly, but there was a lot of talk about the game being delayed for half hour because they had the ticket problem that we had last season at Nottingham Forest, the Aston Villa fans. So when you got into the ground, it was quite empty to start off with, and like it filled up very, very quickly. Like, so I don't know if that just dampened the mood of Villa fans. But the one thing I took out the first half, and I thought we played really, really well in the first half. It was a very, very tactical game. Is that we silenced the crowd, we get some very, very quiet, and then a couple of incidents woke them up, if you like, and. I thought the second half, it was a good game. Listen, guys, it's a magnificent result. Magnificent. I thought we played really, really well, but it could have gone the other way. Fine margins. Last season, I felt that we had the better chances. They ended up winning the game. Ollie Watkins had a couple of good chances in this game, and I think if that goal that he scored in the first half might have made it different. But I just thought it was a wonderful, wonderful performance from us as far as an away performance concerned. And when we went 1-0 up, from that moment on, boys, I thought we were superb. And I mean, really, really good. I don't know. I haven't seen it back yet. I haven't had the time to, but it did seem like that. And some really, really good defensive performances. Saliba, fantastic. But Ben White now is my favourite player.
He's my favourite player, Lee.
No. The only thing that he didn't do, which I was a little bit disappointed with, he didn't smash the ball in his face. You know what I mean? Like, I knew. Let's be really honest about it. We know exactly what the little Scotsman was doing. We knew exactly what he was doing, trying to wind the situation up there, and what a response from our players. Ben White started it, and the rest of the players weren't having none of it because we know what he was trying to do, and I love that. Absolutely love that.
It was
Benny
brilliant.
White.
Brilliant. I'm sorry to cut you, Lee.
Brilliant.
It was
No,
massive.
brilliant.
How many times have we seen Arsenal players in years gone by, recent years, get involved in little scraps, one player here, whatever, and you look at the rest of the team, and I remember it vividly on watch-alongs, Turkish. We're like, where are the rest of you? Yeah. Go, defend your teammate. And Ben White, in a nanosecond, saw exactly what John McGinn was doing and turned into prime Erling Haaland with that finish because he didn't miss him. And he absolutely slapped one at him. There's a word I won't say. He thunder, and then it adds a C word to that. I mean, he absolutely blasted it at him. And John McGinn knew exactly what he was doing, and Ben White gave it back. And you know what? I'm going to give credit to the referee for once. It was a yellow card for each, but I thought he did well not to give a yellow to either because he just went, okay, the tensions are up there. Let's just simmer it all down. Ben, you got your moment back. Let's get back to playing football. I thought all of it was just like vintage Premier League. And the ref could have done, yellows out and whatever. To be honest, you could argue deliberately smashing a ball at, other players could be a red, but let's not go into that. I just thought it was, I love the way Ben White dealt with it, and I love the way the game got to those tensions, but then it was dealt with well. It was just like, from an Arsenal perspective, but all neutral perspective, that's the kind of tension you want in these games. There's no secret. There's no love lost between Arsenal and Aston Villa right now. Back from when they tried to sign Emil Smith-Rowe to when they signed Emi Martinez, the things he said, then Unai Emery, the debate with Villa, beating us twice last season. We don't like them. They don't like us. Cool. This time, this time we got the win, but the tensions showed. And
Ty didn't help as well 2 years ago.
Ty didn't help. I didn't help a few years ago when I told them that Emery wasn't better than Arteta. They don't like me for that. Okay, whatever. There's a lot of tension between Arsenal and Villa, but it showed a good. You could see the Arsenal players wanted to beat them yesterday. Look at Gabriel celebrating giving away a corner with 20 minutes to go.
Yeah, he needs to calm down. Then he gave the ball away for a counter-attack again.
I agree. That was too early. He went too early on that. But Saka, when you got the big block in front of the Arsenal fans, and he gave it some of this because we just scored, and then Saliba with that recovery run and tackle. Those are the moments where I was like, "Come on, boy, yes!" It was big. I loved it. I bet being in the away crowd must have been amazing for all that.
It was brilliant, and what you're right. You're saying when that Saka done that, it showed him he's got. Do you know we were talking about him last week? Was it last week being really nicey? There is a little bit of a spice to him, when he done that, and I agree. There was a lot of rivalry between the clubs at the moment. I think the players more than the fact, because I have to give a big up Aston Villa fans afterwards. They're going, look, deserve to beat us. I met a couple of guys afterwards, and they're saying deserve to beat us, and we want you to win the league. I know that they're saying those sort of things when you beat them and all that, but it was a little bit spicy between the two teams, and I felt that we was up there on a mission. I really do. I think the players were on it as well. They know what happened, and the atmosphere yesterday, the away fans yesterday. I don't know if it come across towards. You could hear it at the end. It was really, when it's a great when you're in an away game and you're 2-0 up, and it gets to 91 minutes, say 92, and then that you've won the game. Even at 89, if they nick one, there's still going to be 5 minutes to go or whatever. But there's that point when you know that you've won the game, and it's a great feeling in the away end to know that they're singing and everything like that. So yeah, it was a fantastic atmosphere there. Yes, I hope that come across. Aston Villa, by the way, great atmosphere. There was a moment in the game when they really got up for it, their fans, and it was impressive. I turned around to Julian and I said, "Wow, that is as impressive noise and I've heard, and from an away ground for a very, very long while." So big up to their fans. They're really up for it now, Villa. They're really back on the up, and you could tell that with the atmosphere yesterday. And it's a fantastic ground to go to, really old school, but it's got that new look to it as well. And but it was atmosphere yesterday was fantastic, particularly in the second half.
I want to go back to Ben White a little because I want to have my words on him. But yeah, listen, that moment there, loved it, and we've come a long way because as much as people look at that, some people look at that moment and think that was nothing. For me, it was something because over the years we've stopped challenging. Over the years we started falling into just the top 4 side and more. Oh, look at this! What's going on, James?
Sorry, I'm looking after. This is Houdini.
Oh
no. He's with us for a few days, and he's come running in. Anyway,
that's lovely. What's
his name?
His name's Houdini.
Houdini.
He's so sweet. He's a little French bulldog. We watched the Arsenal game with us, and he went crazy with us.
Beautiful.
Bless him. Right.
Don't let him know.
No.
He came running in. He's so sweet. Anyway, Karen, we're gonna let you go now. Right, let me mute myself. Back to talking. Go on.
Don't let him know what I think will win. Yeah, otherwise he'll be next on the chopping block. But yeah, so during those years of failure, that's what it was. I know we had FA Cups in between, but in terms of the league and building something special, we was far short. We lacked heart. we lacked fight. And in that moment, there was heart, there was fight, there was teamwork, there was standing up for each other. And Ben White, I think, typifies that. If there's anyone in the squad that you look at for that sort of thing, I think Ben White has been the guy for the little cheap shots, the little duck pieces of dark heart. And this one in particular, again, like, how many times over the years have I seen moments like this? And I know Arsenal players stand up for each other. They kind of, go into their shell. This Arsenal team's very different. Forget the height, forget the aura that people talk about. That sort of stuff on the pitch matters. That's how you build your reputation as a tough side, as a gritty side, as a side that you can't get under their skin, as a side that will be up for the fight. And I think, for Ben White to tip that to be the example of that is mad. When you think he comes in as a guy with tattoos and the whole aura talk and the height and and all of that stuff. He doesn't really like football. Listen, I love him. I can't lie to you. As a player for Arsenal Football Club, I love him. A lot of talk. Remember when Jenkinson signed for us and he supported Arsenal, and that means that he's going to give his all 100%. Listen, what Ben White's doing, that's his all 100%, and that's what I love to see, because you couple that up with quality, and he is quality, then we've got the best right back in the league. And listen, Trent will have something to say about that, but Trent's qualities are very different. I think if we're talking about all-round balanced fullback, right back, I don't think anyone comes close to Ben White in this league.
Yeah, I agree. And I think like that little streak he's got, I don't know if it's a good thing if he goes and plays for England, because he might start getting friendly with a few of them. I think, that he's on a mission, you know what I mean, to really not like people. And you can see it like yesterday.
That's the mission I'm on. I don't want to like people either.
Well, I know that, that's why I can see that you relate to Ben. Maybe I should knock Joey and start calling you Joey Wright or Benny White. I don't know. Like, maybe Benny's better than Joey, I don't know. But like, there's something about him. He plays on the edge, but I just loved that yesterday. And I agree, like, sometimes you need that. I think Arsenal have been too soft in the past. But now, if you look at the side, lots of 6-footers. Even Calafiori come on yesterday, and I don't know if you see what he done with the goalkeeper, just holding back. And there's just little things like that, and you just think, right, if you want to mess with us, listen. And Aston Villa got some big players in their team as well. Like the boy Rodgers yesterday was outstanding. I've got to say that. Where's he come from? Outstanding. Really did give us a tough game in here in midfield. But you have to stand up. You have to stand up in titles and things like that. And I think White typifies that. He really does. And I think that was a big moment yesterday, because, like, you knew exactly what McGinn was going to do and what he was trying to do. It could have gone a different way for us, like, oh, they're not up for it and all that. Like, he must have thought after that today, wow. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's done it a couple of times for us, left a few little tackles on us in the past and upset us and probably maybe derailed us a little bit. Weren't happening yesterday, like, I mean, it actually backfired against him, which was a good thing for us. Very good thing for us.
You actually make a good point as well. I mean, it's funny that we start the pods after a 2-0 win with a Ben White moment like that. Like, I don't even know what you call it, but a shithouse moment, let's call that. But we've come a long way. But you're right to mention Rodgers, because I think if we're talking about the 90-minute game, I think Rodgers was the man of the match, if I'm honest with you, over the 90-minute game. But we won the game, and then our candidates, come out of that win. And I'm sure we're going to get into a couple of those candidates. But let's talk about the overall game in general. Jordan, I haven't heard from you yet. So before the list of negatives comes out, make sure you give the necessary praise, because you was in the WhatsApp group.
He was in the chat yesterday giving negatives.
Well, it's funny, because I was going to start off by saying, let me start with the positives, but I actually don't have any negatives today. Probably the first time ever all my notes are actually positive ones. I mean, the big win, first of all, you look at Spurs winning 4-0, City winning 4-1, but the result of the day is Arsenal were away at 2-0 Villa. That's the result of the day for me. I've got Villa finishing very high in the league this season, and they're going to beat a lot of teams this year, if I'm correct. So to go there and win 2-0 and get a clean sheet is a massive result. We were talking in the group, wasn't we, a few days ago, about how I just didn't think people really were talking about the significance of this game. It was a must win for me, because if you lose at Villa, you then draw at Brighton, who are a bit of a bogey team for us, and then you lose at City, You're then 8 points chasing already. I just didn't think we could afford to lose this game here. So it was a really, really big game for us. Just some notes that I've kind of got down there, and they are all positive. I'll start with Saka, because I think Saka, what I love about Bukayo Saka, guys, is that his level is always consistent, even when he's not the best player on the pitch. Top players for me affect games without being the man of the match. And Saka wasn't the best player. He wasn't even the top 3 of the game yesterday. But he's always just good enough that he does enough to impact games. He always just does something to make his mark on games. He rarely has a game where he does nothing. And I just think that's a sign of a player evolving into a really top player every single game. There's 3 better players than me today, but I still did some significant moments. I didn't run the game. I wasn't the best player, but I just thought it was important to mention Saka's evolution of... Go on, Turkish.
No, you're right. Just on Saka before you do keep it moving to someone else. I think he started the season slow in terms of all-round performance, but in terms of his output, yet again, which is something I think he built on last year. I think in 22-23, he was the exhilarating part of the majority of the attack, the transition. In 23-24, regressed a bit in that sense because the tactics changed a bit and he was required to be a lot more safe at times. But what came out of that is a hell of a productive player with the numbers you're looking at. And I think he started the season in the same vein. 2 good performances, I think, at the very best, if you're looking at the 90 minutes, but he's got 2 assists out of it, a goal. You know, and really it could have been 3 assists if you look at the way Trossard one bounced off. But Saka started the season very well.
Always affecting games, man. I want to mention also, because I've not heard him mentioned in any of the analysis I've seen so far overnight, Thomas Partey. Again, wasn't the best player, but I think it was his best game in a long time. And what I liked about Partey was that he did everything pretty well. He lost the ball once quite poorly, I think, in the first half. But his distribution was better. His burst into driving into the final third of the ball. I've not seen that from Partey for a long, long time. Obviously, the goal he scored, it's a goal we'll take and clinch the game. It's poor goalkeeping. That's right. The keeper's got to save that. But he scored the goal. So, as someone that loves Thomas Partey, he looked like he was getting somewhere close to his best. I know most people had Raya as man of the match, and I think some people had Saliba as well. And I won't necessarily argue with that. But for me, I think Odegaard was just really another underrated performance. Again, without doing anything spectacular, he just seems to be everywhere, doing everything. He's back defending, but yet he's the first one pressing from the front. He's linking up with Saka. He's winning tackles in the middle. He just does everything. I just think it's really underrated for someone that's so creative, how he puts himself about so much for. I don't think he got subbed, did he? I think he played the whole 90 plus minutes. I think he completed the whole game. He did. And I just think for someone whose physical output is so high to play in the middle of the park, I just think that shouldn't be underrated. We're 1-0 up. He's controlling the game. We'll go 2-0 up. He's controlling the game. He's not. I just think he's so intelligent, and I just think his performance shouldn't go under the radar. I agree with Lee. Calafiore looks like a problem. I like the look of him. I like that he came on with 5 or 10 minutes to go just to kind of get him some minutes when the game was pretty much won.
And he knew the assignment, Jordan.
He knew the assignment.
He did.
He knew what time it was. Do you know what I mean? And I love that about him. One final positive as well, the defense. Virgin defense. I'm loving how this team at 2-0 up, the mission wasn't let's protect the lead. The mission was clean sheet. This team are not scoring. You know me, I love clean sheets. I loved how the defending of this team was, you are not scoring. This isn't going to finish 2-1. It's finishing 2-0. I love how passionate. We talk about ruthlessness normally in the final third and scoring goals. This team are ruthless at the back. They take it personally, clean sheets. And I love that. I just love that. And that, I think, will take us a long way. My final 2 points, slightly negative. Martinelli's got a big problem. Martinelli's got a big problem now. We've got to discuss Martinelli because he was probably the one negative. He wasn't awful, but if we're rating his performance, it was a 5, and I'm being kind. It was a 5 out of 10. He's got an issue now. So I think he's got.
Yeah, he was bad, terrible. What one good thing did he pull out in the first half? And you had the defender 1-on-1 maybe 4 or 5 times.
I don't know if it's a confidence thing or
one great piece of something.
Nothing. He's just
And
not doing
I like
anything.
Martinelli, so very poor.
So there's that, and that links to Trossard, who I felt his goal celebration or lack of, I found it quite interesting because he looked like he was almost sulking and a bit pissed. But in the interview after the game, they asked him about it, and he said, no, I'm just doing my thing. He didn't seem like he was pissed in the interview, but I just found the lack of emotion in the goal. I don't know if there's something personal happening there.
I think Arteta addressed it in his press conference without fully addressing it. I might be wrong. I just saw the quote doing around on Twitter. I think he said something like, he wasn't happy he wasn't playing, but that's what I want. And and I think someone was saying Martinelli didn't look happy when he came off. Like this, and I think this is what Arteta wants. He's like, this is a good thing. You shouldn't be happy you're not playing because you're good enough not to. We'll talk about Trossard in good detail later.
Well, the only thing about Trossard, is that I'm saying Martinelli's got a problem, but Trossard traditionally doesn't start well. Whenever he starts for Arsenal, his record starting isn't great. Do you know what I mean? He's better on impact.
All-round game. When I see him out on the left wing, when he's a false nine, I think he can impact the whole game. But when he's out on the left wing, because we play with touchline wingers, you are left wanting a little more from Trossard, like throughout maybe a whole 90. But he's the guy who pops up with the big moments and the big goals. So you think, well, shut up, James. Who cares about the aesthetics and all the things that make a nice comp? Because he's had the big moments. This is a guy, Trossard, who scored at Old Trafford to get us the 3 points, scored in the equaliser at Stamford Bridge to get us a draw when we were 2-0 down, has scored a hat-trick at Anfield. He does this, Trossard. Like, he does
He's
this.
Our real sword. He's our silver real sword.
He's a big game player. He's a big game player. What a finish, by the way. What a finish. Because he runs onto it. So he does really well to keep it low. And if you want evidence of how difficult that is, Ødegaard skies one to make, which could have made it 3-0. So when you're running onto that, and actually it comes at him quite quickly because the Villa player's actually gone to clear it, but he's kind of got it wrong. So he's had to react quickly, keep it low, side foot, and then curl it into that far corner. I mean, it's an unbelievable finish. I think the celebration was just him going, this is what I do. I should have been on the pitch, and I'm now showing you why. But I think that's all kind of in a positive way, not in like there's a beef with Arteta kind of way. So I loved seeing that. And then the rest of the game, I mean, it's his running beyond that then eventually leads into the Partey goal. And he quite frankly should have had a pre-assist when he, that touch into Declan Rice before he rolls it to Ødegaard was magical. Like he came on and he was just sublime. But he does this, Trossard. He comes off the bench and then he leaves you going, why isn't he starting? And then sometimes he can then start the next game and you're going, oh, God, I mean, he wasn't quite... And then he scores. I mean, he's such a weird player, Trossard. But my word, he's clinical. And there's a reason we've all been calling him the best finisher at the club. I mean, I don't see any candidate against that at the moment.
Just a shout out to Gabriel as well for that pass over the top. That pass was absolutely sublime. That pass was incredible for me. But going back to Trossard, I agree. It's not even that Trossard is the best finisher at the club. He seems to be the only player at the club that likes shooting. He's the only player that we've got in attack that actually Martinelli, Jesus, Havertz, even Saka to some degree, Ødegaard. They don't seem to like shooting. It seems to be like, oh, if I have to shoot, I'll take a shot. Whereas he likes shooting. We need more shooters, man.
I call Trossard the best 12th man in the league. Some people think that's disrespectful, but that's because I see more from him when he comes off the bench. I think a myth's been created that he's poor when he starts. I don't think he's poor, but I just think he's not in the game as much as you'd like him to be. I think he's still a massive threat. I look at the Bayern Munich. Is it Bayern Munich?
At home.
Yeah. No, it was Porto. But didn't he score the goal against Porto?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
I think he did. Yeah.
We scored against Bayern as well. He scored in both.
But the Porto one where it was a tough game. He was having a poor game, but that one moment, Ødegaard into Trossard, he gets the goal. So I think he has quality starting the game, but when you've got such a great 12th man, like it's not like we always wanted Wiltord to start games. It's not like we wanted Carnu to start. We knew what their job was. Their job was to rotate, come in, freshen it up, start some games, but not be relied upon like we rely upon Henry, Bergkamp, etc. So I think Trossard, in terms of that figure that can cause problems off the bench, he has, again, since he's come in, he's done that perfectly. There's been no one better at that than him. And the finish, James, you're right to mention it. It wasn't even a fair clearance. It was more a ricochet from Havertz and Rodgers. And it comes straight at Trossard. And that finish was quality. People won't understand how, the pace of that ball and to get it down low, curl it around. The quality was mad. And I love the celebration even more than the finish. And this is coming from a Martinelli fan who says Martinelli should have started the season. The celebration was clearly, this is what I'm about. Yeah, I should have started this game, but make sure I start against Brighton. And I think he deserves that start against Brighton now, if I'm honest with you. And now it's Martinelli's time to think about things. Because as much as you might not have been happy about coming off the pitch, like I said, when we talk about Saka and sometimes poor performances, there's always a double up issue. There's always, a triple up issue. There's always that side of things. With Martinelli, we didn't have that issue yesterday. He had a lot of space and he had the right back change up at, halfway through the first half. And he struggled going along the outside, running it out of play, long balls to the back post, going out of the box more to the throwing line, cutting in, not really beating the man. I mean, I don't know what it is. I don't know. Has he lost a bit of sharpness? Because Martinelli used to love shooting as well. You said Trossard loves shooting. Martinelli, in my opinion, he used to probably shoot more than he should have in key moments. His end product had been questioned, but yeah.
I think he's just in his head, Martinelli. I think he's just in his head. I think, at one point, him and Saka were like this. Let's be completely real. Saka's moved ahead for sure in terms of importance to this team. Trossard's come in and was clutch in the run-in last season. And I think it's quite clear that we're in the market for a winger. I think Martinelli knows all this. And his best friend, Fabio Vieira, has just gone out on loan. So it's been a bad week for him. But he'll get back to it. He'll get back to it. I'm convinced.
I think he's playing under a little bit of pressure. I'm going to give him a positive. The first positive he done was he forced Matty Cash off because of the directness of his run. He had to go with him and pulled his hamstring. That was when the time now, right, you've got an inexperienced fullback, 18 years of age coming on, do your stuff. And I think he didn't. I'm returning you. I'm a big fan of his, but like every time he went past or went to go, but the decision was wrong. Either the cross was long. He didn't really impact the game in the way that we all expected him to do. And he just wasn't at it. Like, to be honest, I didn't think the front three were. I think the front three were sort of nullified by a very, very good tactic by Emery. Really, it was really interesting to see what he'd done. One of the central defenders always went in on Havertz. They was very, very aware of that. The two wide players made sure that those passes couldn't get to our wide players. But you have to try and do something a little bit different. And the fact of the matter is, I thought Saka was quiet, but he does have moments, as Turkish said, and that is the difference between these two at the moment. And
you know what? No, I interrupted you. Sorry, carry on, Lee. Sorry.
No, I was just writing with Trossard. I loved everything about that performance. You come in. That is what yes, he's got the yeah, he might be sulking and all that, but there's ways to respond, and it was the perfect way to come on and go, right, I should be in the team, but I'm not. I'm going to show you why I should be in the team, and it was perfect. I loved the celebration, by the way. Absolutely loved it. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
Why wouldn't you? I just thought it was, and I imagine Martinelli's going, cool, I've worked my socks off. He did work his socks off in the defensive side and all that, and he sit there, and his first touch, he bangs in the goal. But that's, you've got to live with that.
Yeah, I was going to say with the front three, I mean, Havertz didn't have a great game. I mean, he was in and out of it. He had some nice moments of link up, but he was kind of struggling to get into it. But like the way that front 3 and 4 set the tone on the press and defensively, like as much as we did some nice things on the ball, we were so organised off the ball.
Yeah.
And there were some moments where they got in, of course, but I don't think you expect to go to a Champions League side away from home and they have no moments. And then you'll talk about like the perfect away performance. So I didn't really mind that a few moments. I thought generally we defended really well, and that was from top to bottom. But on Saka, what Saka has, and if anyone can think of a good analogy, let me know. He's like a puzzle solver. It's like I've never solved a Rubik's Cube, but imagine like it's that kind of, I try this, it didn't work. I try again, it didn't work. There's something about him because at 0-0, he picked up the ball a little bit more tucked in, a little bit more central. He saw Ødegaard on the shoulder of the defender, and he just gave it to him. Ødegaard touched round the corner, and then he rolled it back in, and he should have lifted it over Emi Martinez. He tries to go around, and ultimately the chance goes. But how often when we need a goal with Saka the one saying, give me the ball and I'll try 1-2 here. Oh, okay. Let me try running behind. Okay, let me try a ball over the top. He's constantly trying different things all the time. puzzle solving. What can I do? Is this combination going to work? Do I have to be direct? Whatever it might be. And him, White, and Ødegaard, always interchanging. Is it Ødegaard in the pocket? Is it White in the pocket, making under that with Saka out wide? And the way those three have found a way to just throw so many different problems that eventually you're going to find a way through. Saka didn't give up on the ball and he pulled it back across goal. With a bit of luck, it's ended up at Trossard. But then he's the one that keeps the move alive and rolls it to Partey. He could open up his body, whip it to the back post. But he goes, let me just put it here for Thomas Partey. We know what he can do. And then he's had two massive moments in the game. I mean, Bukayo Saka, it's so early in the season, but we said in pre-season that he came on the pitch and he didn't look like Starboy anymore. And you can't quantify. How do I explain that? He's just run onto a football pitch. How do I explain that he doesn't look like just Starboy anymore? But he's carrying himself like
I'm the man.
This is what I do, and I'm here, and now I'm going to be the numbers guy, and I'm going to fire us to this title. And I can't wait to see it continue.
Two quick points as well. Ødegaard helps him out as well, though. I know
he does.
Picking up for Martinelli. That combination between them two is something that it is a joy to watch.
Marino will help.
Martinelli's got that at this moment in time. He hasn't
got
that.
What were you going to say, Jordan?
I was going to say two quick ones. I think with 36 minutes now as we've discussed this game, we've not mentioned Declan Rice once, which I think is a good thing because I think he had a decent performance. But the mere fact that our £100 million player wasn't in our top 5 performers shows that this is a real good team now. You know, the next game he might be our best player.
He wasn't in my top 8. He wasn't in my top 8.
But he wasn't poor. He wasn't necessarily poor.
No, he wasn't poor.
Yeah, he was poor for me.
Oh,
really?
Rogers ran the midfield, was bouncing off him, Partey, everything. When did Rice burst through that midfield? When did he carry the ball and cause a
I'll take it back.
You got better as the game went on. You got better as the game, but I don't think
when Trossard came on, I think Rice, then they had more to worry about with our attack, and then that opened up space for Rice to run into.
He's not 100% fit. I don't know if you see in the first half. It was a run with that Rodgers. He couldn't keep up with him. Like last season, he would have got there. I don't think he's quite.
But guys,
also levels of fitness at the moment. I don't think it's nothing to worry about. But I genuinely believe that.
Also, Rodgers is no joke. Like I tweeted about it before on Friday. I think it was Friday. I just said, look, I'm really worried about Rodgers. No, Thursday. I was like, I'm worried about Rodgers versus Partey, because I watched back some of the West Ham Villa game and he was the one who was like, give me the ball, I'll run. And, 10s are normally players that link the play, they find that button, but he's the kind of, I wouldn't call him a 10. He's more of an attacking midfielder, second striker. He's a runner. He's give me the ball and I'm going to drive. He's going to be a problem this season. It could be a massive, massive season for him.
James, I think Villa, I think after City and Arsenal, have got the best collection of midfielders in the league because he is an absolute problem. I love Jacob Ramsey. They've still got Tielemans. I know Douglas Luiz is gone. And Nana, I like. I don't rate McGinn as much people do, but he's a good workhorse. They've got I think third best group of midfielders in the.
They've got that youngster from Juve they just signed to replace Douglas Luiz called like Barrenechea or something. Apparently he's really highly regarded. So I mean they do have some. Yeah, they've got some really good players. Guys, this was a great win. And was the performance perfect? I was listening to it with Gary Neville's commentary. And when we scored, he said something like, Arsenal haven't been at their best, but they found out. And don't get me wrong, he was incredibly complimentary of Arsenal, especially after the match. But I was sort of thinking, you're right, Arsenal weren't at their best, but what were we expecting? Like, if we're being realistic, I know that the aspirations is win the title. But this is still the team that are managed by Unai Emery, have spent a lot of money over the years, as we have, and everyone else in the Premier League has. But they've got very good players, as we know, and they finished 4th last season. I think limiting them to a really good first half Watkins chance, which I think is a foul on Gabriel, but some you get, some you don't. It goes wide. Now, he does that, guys. He does have an arm round. Yeah, but anyway, whatever. Some you get, some you don't.
On himself. Yeah, Gabriel
I totally agree with that. He does bring it on himself. But, Watkins puts it wide. They probably should have had a goal there. But then, and we're going to talk about the Raya save in a second. But, I mean, I just think when ultimately you've had control of large parts of the game, you had the better chances, you come off the pitch actually in the end going, we could have had 3. We could have maybe had a 4th.
That's what worries me, though.
What?
Because if I ask, forget the results for a sec of the last 3 games. Have the performances been any different? Was the
In
performance
what way?
yesterday any better than both performances against Villa last year? And I
No,
say
it
that
was
because,
worse.
yeah, exactly.
But who
But that's what,
cares?
no, you're right. Who cares? But
Yeah.
that's what worries me, because in our first big test of the season, we was quite stale on the pitch, wasn't creating the big chances, and we needed our 12th man to come off the bench in the first big test of the season. Now the 12th man ain't gonna save us every time. So
I-
that's the worry for me, is that the 11 that started, which is the strongest 11 we've got right now, without Marino coming into that midfield, the
What?
strongest 11 conceded bigger chances to Villa, the same big chances as last season. It's just that they didn't finish their dinner this season. Now that's what worries me with the attack, because the conviction still ain't there. Because
So-
we have openings, but we don't ever create the chances.
Hold on a minute here. I'm not having this. I'm not having this.
Yeah, I'm with you, Lee.
Gabriel one's a foul. I don't care what anybody
There's no
says.
foul, Lee. Come on,
It's
man.
not-
There's no
it's not a
foul.
Here's a-
Listen,
here's a
there was
foul.
one. There was one
There's
later
no
on.
foul
There was
there,
one.
man.
There was one.
You
exactly
can't
the
just
same
turn your
like
back
that.
and then put
There
your
was
bum
one
out
exactly
and then
the same
call
like
a
that
foul.
on Gabriel, and he didn't give it. I get why you think it like, but I'm telling you, there was a I think it was on Saka. He done exactly the same thing and he went play on. Right, so I'm not having that. I get it that you say that Gabriel brought it on, yeah.
He did.
And we'll go on to the next one. Was a deflected shot that could have gone anywhere. Other than that, I think this is a team that's a top 4 team that's very, very good. I think every single time they got the ball out, the way we won the ball back against them, I think was sensational. I don't know if you see that on that every time they went through, we won the ball back very, very well. We took them down alleys and pockets that they didn't want to go. And yeah, you know, they're 4th in the league. They're going to Champions League. They're at home on their first game of the season. Of course, they're going to have chances. It's what good teams do. You know what I mean? And they're a good, bloody, well-organised football team. I don't care what anybody says. You know, we limited him to moments. Fantastic.
They had more chances than us. You know that, right? They had
No,
more
No, they
didn't.
didn't.
than us.
No, they didn't. What do you mean they had more chances than
Up
us,
until
mate?
the goal we scored, the first 70 minutes,
Well,
they
that's
had
90 minutes,
Saka
Turkish.
first half. No, that's not true. Saka should have gone round Emmy. This bloody thumbs up.
firstly
Saka should have gone round Emmy
Saka was
Martinez.
offside. Saka was offside there.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
he was.
okay, you're right. You're
Great
right.
bit of play from Odegaard, by the way. That was, oh my God.
That was brilliant. And then Emmy Martinez pulled out a massive save. And you know,
No,
the
the
big
save from
chances they
Saka,
had
yeah.
was from a deflection and a foul. I mean, like there was not a lot in it, but we were the better team.
Well, the deflection. I mean, you two keep on saying deflection. There was a chance that with deflection or not deflection, they hit the bar and then they had a header in the 6-yard box with no one there but
you're right.
Raya. That's the best chance of the game, right? Then
Yeah.
the console one at the back post. I think it was Konsa in the second half where he plays it across. It's like a cross come shot. Then in
You're
the
actually
first
right
half,
about that. I was out of the room
first
for that.
half,
You're right.
the first half, there was a cutback in the 6-yard box. It was going to the Villa player. Raya done amazing to cut it out. And then he does amazing to jump back up and stop it going to the other Villa player. These are all big chances for Villa. They score one of them. It's the same story as last year. It's his job, Lee. But they were big. You think it's his job to that Watkins chance? Watkins should have buried that. Watkins should have buried that.
Yeah, he probably should have. But it's a deflection. They've not opened us up. They've not bombarded our goal.
No, I get what Turkish is saying.
I don't know about you, but I wasn't sitting here yesterday on the edge of my seat thinking, oh, they're going to score in a moment or whatever. I thought it was, you know, maybe it's different. I don't know. But
was you on the edge of the seat thinking Arsenal are going to score, though? You wasn't.
Yeah,
I
honestly,
someone.
We was mucking about. I actually said we'll win big and all that. When we went 2-0 up, I said we could win this 3 or 4. Yeah, Odegaard should smash that in.
Odegaard should have, yeah.
But what are we saying that it wasn't that great a performance? I mean, what's kind of the overarching?
No, I'm just asking because this is one of the games we looked at as last year I put a lot of what we didn't do at the end of the season down to the 2 Villa games.
Yeah,
we know we haven't improved the attack like we all want to. So in the performance, did we see a difference? I don't believe we did, because Villa should have taken the lead with the chances they had, like they did last year. It's just that they didn't. That's a difference. And 70 minutes in, we then take our chance with the 12th man coming off the bench. But the reality is, up until Trossard came off the bench, I don't think we was doing enough to say, you're right, Lee. I wasn't thinking, oh, Villa are going to run away with this or win the game. But I wasn't thinking we was either at that time. Trossard
No,
came on and changed the whole
it
game
was a
for us.
very, very tactical game, Turkish. You have to accept, listen, I guarantee you there's not going to be many games that Aston Villa come there and drop off against teams. They will go for it a little bit more, they dropped off. They was a very, very tactical performance from them, like to suck us in. They didn't engage with our back four because they know if they did, then we'd pop it around them and all that. Like, you have to find ways of winning games of football. And I'm telling you this now, right? I'll be very, very surprised, if Liverpool, Tottenham, Newcastle, all of those teams go there and win. Like, I think Manchester City will go there and win, but I don't think other teams in and around that will go there and win. And that is a difference. We went there yesterday, took our chances when they mattered. It was at that time it was we who took our chances against them, and that is a very, very good sound away performance against it. I think a very, very good. So I think we're underestimating how good Villa are.
Okay, can I rephrase the question, because I know people in the comments are already thinking I'm being negative about.
No, they're not being
good
negative.
Performance, good 3 points. Yeah. What I'm saying is, in comparison to the performances last year and the worry we have this year, Lee, let me ask you: has that performance lifted your concerns that we need an attacker? Was there enough conviction in our attack yesterday? No. The answer is no until Trossard comes on. So that's my point. Have we improved?
I get what you're saying. I don't think it's got nothing to do with the game that we need, son. I'll tell you what, you hear fight or an hour before the game that Jesus is injured again, you know what I mean? Like, that's a problem. That's the worry, right? You know what I mean? They're you know what I mean? If they don't go out and get an attacker in these next 7 days, you can forget about the league, because I get it as well. You can forget about it, because at the end of the day, I did look on that bench yesterday. What game changers did we have on that bench? What game changers? Yes, Trossard. Yes, and he come on and done it. And I agree with you, but nothing else. Nothing else, you know what I mean? And that is the problem. I agree with you. Their bench, they had probably a stronger bench than us. But when it come down to, we had a game changer in Trossard. But we need to address that. But at the end of the day, even with Jesus there, that must have been a blow to lose him. I don't know if this is true, but someone said he could be out for 4 to 8 weeks after this. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to get somebody in. Got to get somebody in.
For what it's worth, I mean, obviously, I wish him all the best, and I love Jesus, but it wasn't a blow to me. Like, when I heard the news, I was like, okay, here we go. Like, I mean,
it's coming. It's coming.
But I just want to address actually. So what the point Tersh was making, I actually concede that probably before the goal, and I forgot about the Consa one. Yeah, I mean, Watkins really should have scored twice, and the ref would have allowed the Gabriel moment. So yeah, they should have had 2. I think across the 90 though, we did have the better chances, and I just think ultimately my takeaway from the game is we went there, we had more of the ball, we had the better opportunities, we largely controlled Villa. It required a little bit of luck for some of their chances to arise. Actually, quite a lot of luck for the big 2, and they had Rodgers, who was a handful, and Watkins was largely kept quiet, and Bailey was sort of in and out of the game. Maybe the injury early on sort of affected his performance. And it's maybe just one of those games where, because it's game week 2, you are right. And I saw a lot of this on Twitter, actually. Arsenal fans were laughing because they were going, we played better twice against you last year at Villa Park and the Emirates. Yeah. And we lost those games. But that's football, isn't it? The point is, I think we're the better team in all 3. And there's credit to be had there. It's a shame we didn't get anything for it last season. Even 2 draws might have been enough to win us the title. But this year, this time we cashed in the XG, which you love to see it. And we were well worthy of the 3 points. And that's all I can ask of Arsenal this early on. Especially when we've got such a grueling opening 5. It's like the pressure. No one wants to hear this, right? The expectation is always to win at Villa. But maybe if this had come in December and we'd racked up a lot of points, you get a point at Villa Park around, some nicer fixtures, you probably take it a little bit more. It's like, all right, we went there, we didn't lose, you got a point, but City might lose or draw there. But because of City and Tottenham coming so soon, it was like, well, we can't not win any of our 3 opening away games. And that felt, because of the occasion with Tottenham, because of who City are, it felt like the more winnable, believe it or not. And we went and got it. So I'm just very much on cloud 9 about the win. But
Yeah.
I actually hear your points. And yet, are we ruthless in the front three? No. But I knew that before this game. Like this didn't teach me anything. We needed Saka to step up again. But I think Arteta's language is changing people. And I said it like when the reporters started coming out. I remember we were on the live stream on Talking Transfer. Said the reporters are starting to mention that Arsenal might want a winger, and they weren't doing that 2 weeks ago. Now Arteta's in press conferences going, yeah, like we're short. And then he was saying, well, you never know, so we've got to be ready, and we might have a surprise. Like things like that. He's just starting to talk in a way which is like, guys, I'm just trying to translate to you people. I want this as well. So I think this is a really big 5 days for Arsenal. Really big.
Considering the time, I think we need to save a bit of space for a much maligned player. Is that the right word to use over his time in the first year at the club? But David Raya starts this season in very different fashion than last season.
I'll come back in 10 minutes, guys. I'll give you guys 10 minutes to have your little.
No, stay here. Don't worry.
Your little festival of celebration about the world-class goalkeeper. I'll have a shower. I'll be back in 10 minutes. Is that all right? Just let me know when you guys have done.
Fine. All right, fine. I'll happily agree to that because I want to enjoy this. That was an incredible save. And he's made 2 in back-to-back games. And I asked him to be the kind of player that was going to, when moments went against us, could he keep us in the game? And he has done now 2 games in a row. And I think you need, like Ederson, like Alisson, big moments that get you some of these wins. And Emi Martinez had that for Villa last season when Trossard should have scored. Martinez, although it was a bad finish from Trossard, and I think Jordan might argue it's a bad finish from Watkins, but we'll get to that. But the goalkeeper did his thing. Villa got Champions League football after that. Big moment from Raya, and I'm super happy for him. And he was brilliant distribution-wise. He was dominating his penalty area, punching the ball out, making sure we dealt with corners. And I'm so happy for him. He's absolutely the established number 1 now. We knew that a year ago. But, he is in terms of the way he's playing too. And I'm so happy for him.
So James couldn't agree with you more. And this thing, right, is really going to gets my goat a little bit like, oh, he should have saved it. Like, you know what I mean? It should have been a better thing. If Watkins smashes it into the top corner, like no goalkeeper's going to save it. You know what I mean? Like it's realistic. You've got to be to make a save. It's got to be a realistic save. You know what I mean?
It's got to be savable.
It's got to be unsavable. Like, but it's a moment of the game which is so. Which we've been asking for him for all of last season. You know, can you do a save that's going to get you 3 points? That's a 3-point save. He's got us 3 points there. That is what he done yesterday. And he could have sat on his backside when he hit the bar. He's up straight away. He's alert and all that. Like at the end of the day, it's a very, very good, important save. Yes, should he say, yes, should Watkins score? Yeah. But at the end of the day, if he rifles that into the top corner, no goalkeeper's going to save it. Every time a goalkeeper saves it, it is, like if it goes another inch the next way, he ain't going to save it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just that's the way it is. It's a fucking great save. He's got up and saved it. Not only did he save it, right, there's another Villa player right by it. He could have parried it into him. He didn't. He got it away from him as well. Give the bloke a bit of credit when he deserves it. And that is it, like, you know what I mean? And I don't care if people think, Watkins. Well, he didn't. He saved it. Great save. And that's what you want from your goalkeeper. And at long last, he's done it. You could debate whether it was a point-saving one against Wolves because it was 1-0 up or whatever. We might have gone on 1 again. I'm telling you, if they score at that moment there, we do not win that game. That's how important that save was.
And I think it swung momentum, Lee. I think we were on the back foot a little bit. That first 50 minutes of the second half, we were struggling. After that save, I think Villa were probably a little bit like, damn, Watkins should have had 2. This is the guy we rely on to put in the back of the net. And I don't think, if I'm correct, I don't think he scored yet this season. Onana and Duran scored there 2 last year. He was away with England, so he'll be getting up to speed. But then after that, Arsenal then started probing and having their moments, and Saka was getting in behind. I think it was a massive save, and I'm looking forward to seeing why Jordan, does it in his sleep and obviously wakes up every morning. Just
you lot are hilarious. I mean, Lee's all over the place. He's gone from within 30 seconds describing it as a very, very good save. I wrote it down here. Very, very good save. to 30 seconds later, it's an effing great save. And I think that's my problem with the description of the save.
It gets better over time.
Clearly, maybe it's just semantics. But when I hear words like phenomenal, amazing, effing great, I'm like, it's a very good save. It's a very good save. And for me, an amazing save is always a save the keeper shouldn't make. You heard my thoughts on his save last week. I think that save's better than this one. That one's better than this one because this one is Watkins has headed it back towards him. He's not had to stretch. He's headed it towards him. Now, look, the sprinting from coming from back inside the goal to getting back on your line and keeping it out, that athleticism is incredible. But they trained for that. Lee said it half an hour ago. That's his job.
Whoa. Did you just say incredible?
No. To get
part
back.
of the save was incredible.
Oh, you see now you're being pernickety. Now
Yeah,
you're being
let's write that down.
Incredible.
Now you're being pernickety. I'm saying to get back off his line, that athleticism is incredible. But to describe the save as incredible for me is like if that goes in where Watkins has put it, I'm like, you should save that. You should save that. It's back towards
Jordan,
him.
I've got to ask you a question. Right? We had the great David Seaman in the studio this week. Like his best save, he reckons, in all of his career was the one against Sheffield United. Should have the forward scored it in the really?
No, that's different. That's my point.
He's a yard out.
He shouldn't.
If he puts it another yard the other side, he's never going to save it.
Lee, it's virtually crossed the line. It's almost crossed the line. That is a save that he shouldn't make, in my opinion. He shouldn't make that save.
Yeah, but the player should score it. That's my point.
The player should score it, but for me, David Seaman shouldn't save it. That's a freak. That is a freak save. David Seaman would not do that again. That is a freak save. It's a freak
I don't think
save.
Raya should save that.
I do. If that goes, it's within his wingspan. It's not in the corner, James.
But Jordan, every save in history ever has been within the wingspan of the goalkeeper.
No, it's not. Somewhere in the top corner.
Yes.
No, if it's in the top corner, you can't save that with power. You can't. If it's in the bottom corner.
But he still had to dive across and get there, and Raya's also had to get up and get there. Like it's like I don't. What are you saying? That basically, if that had gone in the back of the net, you'd be saying Raya should have saved it.
I'm saying if Watkins puts it anywhere other than where he's put it, and he saves it, that's an incredible save. If the ball was within your wingspan, for me, you should save it. You should save it. And I also want to separate the significance of the save to the quality of the save. The importance of the save is huge. The importance of the save is massive. But the quality of the save, I'm saying, is not as good as you lot, as much as you lot are making it out to be, in my opinion. It's a very good save. It's not a great save.
There's different ways to judge a quality save. I know how you're looking at it. It's not the most athletic save. It's not he wasn't tested to his limits, but the reflexes he showed, the agility he showed to get back up. Yeah. I mean, you'll fail to find many saves that are quick in the response time than that, and that's a great save in its own right. It's not the most athletic in terms of like the fingertip ones. Let's say Ramsdale against Liverpool, Salah when it was under siege that second half, fingertip just wide. Beautiful.
He shouldn't save that.
This is very. Yeah, well, you say he shouldn't save that, but a goalkeeper's there to make saves, isn't it? So it's like,
but come on,
Roy Keane said, it's his job.
That's a freak. There's nothing more Salah could do with that shot to not score. David De Gea did one at the Emirates about 5 years ago. I've forgotten who shot. David De Gea did an amazing save at the Emirates. Was it Giroud?
No, probably.
When he had a 10-10 performance, I remember.
Oh my God, those for me are great saves because he shouldn't save it, and he has. So I don't want to poo-poo the guy. The importance high, the quality,
But the speed to get there. Do you remember Konate's one where it was very similar? He should just head it into the back. Actually, the Konate one was better. But Ramsdale at Anfield, where Konate he was on the goal line, head it over, and then Ramsdale just gets across and claws it out. Like that was unbelievable. I just think there's different kinds. There's the outstretched one where it's like, okay, I get what you're saying about the wingspan thing now. So you stretch your body so far, you've got fingertips and you pulled it wide and you.
That's what I'm saying.
I get that, but but that's just a different technique. It's like differentiating a right-footed side-foot finish and a crashing header or a long-range shot. There's different ways to keep the ball out of the net. With this one, okay, some are fingertips but others it's I'm on the floor. What the hell am I doing? Right, up. Where's the ball? Reaction. The speed at which he reacted to what was happening, because the deflected shot that he thinks might be going over hits the bar, and he's on the floor. He doesn't know where it's landing, where it's going. It's just up. And he said in his post-match that they work on it in training. If you watch the training videos uploaded every now, you can see it. They bounce the ball off a little like square net. They bounce off a little net, and then it just goes randomly in a certain direction. It's designed to just.
There you go. Then they practice for that.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
I also practice, dribbling through, 10 players, but I can't quite pull it off.
But I know Tosh wants to move on, but just to another point Lee made as well that I disagree with. Again, the importance of the save is high because if Villa score, you know what's going to happen. But this idea that if Villa score, we don't win the game still, I don't think is true. I think we are a very, very good team. And this idea that if we go 1-0 down in the 60th minute, we definitely lose the game. I'm not sure. Arsenal got 2 goals in them, even 1-0 down. So I don't think that the save is important as far as it kept it 0-0. But the save isn't like we're an average team. If we're not Chelsea. Chelsea go 1-0 down, they ain't winning. I don't think that applies to us. So I don't agree that the save was important. But I like Raya, and I don't want to. He's swearing at me, and I don't want to poo-poo what he's done so far this year because he's been brilliant. He has been brilliant. It's a very good save. Great, phenomenal, effing amazing. Yeah.
Incredible.
Shut up, Turkey.
Isn't it great that he's having these moments, though? I mean,
it is.
Exactly that, James.
It is. I'd agree
Enjoy
with that.
Enjoy them.
I would agree with that. 2 clean sheets, happy days.
We're going to keep it moving there because we've just passed the hour. Hopefully, we've just passed 1,000 likes. Make it happen, people, if you haven't already. We're going to move into Brighton predictions, but I've got 2 questions to ask before we do that, and obviously the table to bring up. First 2 questions, we just go all round. Well, anyone can answer when they want. Timber starts ahead of Zinni against Brighton?
No, not for me.
No. Yeah, I'll put
Lee?
Zinni back in.
Yeah, I think I was impressed with Timber, by the way. It was a good performance, but I just think he probably gives us a little bit more going forward on a home game.
Well, have we seen Brighton's wingers this season, or
They're very impressive.
You want one of them to run into that space on the left side, or?
I know he's going to score now. I'm saying it, but I didn't think Minter was very good against Man United at all. Actually, I thought he was dangerous, had a lot of the ball, caused him problems, but he didn't do much with it. But now I've said it, he's getting a goal and assist at the Emirates, of course. But I felt that actually Timber was good against Villa, but I'd happily give Zinni the shirt back. Listen, either one starts. If he gave Calafiori the start, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I mean, it's a good problem. My expectations are the same. Whoever's playing in that position.
All right, next one. Trossard starts over Martinelli.
Yeah. I understand the argument.
More chance. I'd give him one.
Do you know what, Jordan? I'm with you on that.
I'd give him one more chance.
You've only given him this month, Jordan. he needs this last game before you're selling him.
I think if he was to play Martinelli, that would be a real big confidence boost.
It would.
Going to the internationals, but it'd be very interesting. I will give him one more go.
Fair. Split down the middle in terms of.
What would you do, Turkish? Would you
Trossard.
drop it? Trossard, okay.
Yeah. I think Martinelli was very poor. All right, let's bring up the table after game week 2 or match. Well, 2 matches played, and here's how it's looking.
Gotta love the
with a -1 pending.
Oh, Turkish. Down the bottom. What did you predict then? Did you predict a draw?
1-1. This is the problem with predicting 5 days early.
I'm not too happy about this. It's all a bit of guesswork, isn't it, really?
Well, to be fair, it's all guesswork, isn't it? But...
Yeah, but you're more well informed near the end.
I'm joking.
He's just being facetious, isn't he?
Yeah, you could. That's one word to use, Lee. I'm sure you can find a few more.
Yeah.
We could submit. I mean, we could submit our predictions on socials.
But then the community don't hear it. Like, it's just, I don't know.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
By Brighton, we might have another 2 players in.
Yeah, that's
That-
a good
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
We might
I
have some
think this-
Mbappe.
I mean, and I know this is a post-match podcast, but I think this is going to be a big 5 days. I don't mean we're going to spend 100 million in
Come,
bringing
let's
a
go
load of players.
against the grain. Let's say we do another one later on. You know what I mean? Come on, like, you know.
Put that later down
Well,
this week.
Yeah.
Not
Do you know?
much.
We've
I've got an
Champions
idea,
League
but I'll
coming
pitch
up.
it. I'll pitch it after the show, but I've got an idea. So we'll I don't want to mention it now because everyone's gonna go, yeah, definitely do it. We don't know if it's possible, so let's chat after this quickly.
We'll do predictions now, but it's just a prediction for now. It might change people, I guess, depending on what James.
Well, we'll have to go with it. So we'll have to, whatever happens, if we put the predictions in now, we've got to go with it, haven't we? You can't change it. But
let's just go with it. We'll international break. We'll sort out what we need to sort out.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
Yeah. We
James?
need a meeting. We need a meeting with the brass, the top brass.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Go on, James.
I tell you what, no, honestly, I've got to say this. When you've had a win, you can ask Robbie anything. He says yes. You know what I mean? I'm telling you. Just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know.
Well, what did the community say? Should Fourever be twice a week? Put it in the comment section below. Let's find that. Let's find that. Go on, James.
So what we're doing predictions, are we? I'm really torn with this one. I still think Arsenal are. This is going to sound so weird, right? If we've announced a big signing, the Emirates is going to have so much energy on that Saturday at 12:30. And I know people are going to laugh and go, it's not happening. But let me just give you an if, which isn't too crazy. If we convince Nico Williams and paid that release clause, it's possible. It probably won't. But if. Like that, the midday atmosphere, not 12 hours after that's kind of all been done, dusted, announced, everything. Brighton at home, we just want to wear Villa. The energy is going to be crazy. And that does almost change my feelings on how the game will go.
I think it's a great point.
I want to go for a 2-0 Arsenal win. Brighton were very good second half against Man United, but they do concede space and chance. They've got a very young new manager, but they've got real quality out in the wings. Yeah, I want to go 2-0, but why do I feel like Welbeck is going to score? Maybe 3-1, but I'll go with 2-0.
2-0.
Actually, can I change it? 2-1. Sorry, I think 2-1. I think we'll concede an annoying goal. I'm going to go 2-1.
So James has gone 2-1. Lee?
Do you know, I did watch bits of the Man United game yesterday, and I felt at the end of the day, Man United should have won that game. I think like if there was a bit in that game where, you know, they'd be kicking themselves, Man United. And I'm going to go 2-0. I think the clean sheet will stay. And like, listen, Brighton are doing very, very well, but I just think that this is this is a really good point what you make there, Jack. I think the prediction of this result depends on what happens in the next 5 days, because I'm going to be fucking well deflated if players don't come in this week. Deflated, like, really, because I think what's the point? You know what I mean? Because we are well and truly short at this moment in time. Not of the 11. I think the 11 is good enough to go, or 12 or 13 is good enough to go and win. But we know that this league, you know, we've got more games in the Champions League. The format of Champions League, don't know how that's going to work out and all that. We need to bring in a couple more players. And if we haven't got that, we're a couple of injuries away from really, you know. So I think it's a massive, massive week this week. I really do. So I'm thinking, you know, it could even be more if we was to bring in a couple of players and they're being paraded and all things like that. I think there could be even more in this game. Really like, but I'm going to be conservative and say 2-0.
2-0. Jordan?
I'm going 3-0. Odegaard masterclass incoming.
3-0. So we've got James 2-1.
Love that. I was tempted.
2-0. Jordan 3-0. I'm going 3-1. Let me bring out the classic. Why not?
You go to won you a few titles, Turkish. You got to.
It did. I got
back to his roots.
Back to what you know.
Well, are you going to go back to 1-1 throughout the season? Do you remember those days?
Absolutely not.
How'd that work out for you?
It had me paying extra.
Top of the tree.
Come a long way.
We have come
James,
a long way. Turns out if you predict. Go on, Lee.
No, I was just saying a good start to you retaining your title. It's a very good, you know, championship winning form, son. Well done.
It's not bad. Picked up some momentum.
The Tottenham City away games are going to separate the boys from the men. We're gonna see that back to back. See what people are saying.
Yeah,
That's
they
the
are.
that's the predictions, people. James has gone 2-1. Lee's gone 2-0. Jordan's gone 3-0. I've gone 3-1. Leave yours in the comment section, and as always, leave your comments too, because comments of the day is always going to be a thing on Forever Arsenal. And we move into comments of the day now. Everyone ready with comments, or is the link 5 minutes before 8 a problem with that as well, Lee?
No, not at all. Not to my friend Joey. It is all good. All good.
Okay, nice.
While I was waiting for the link this morning, I popped off 4 or 5 that I liked. There you go.
Let me go first, because I've got to best. I've screenshotted it a couple of days ago, but it was one of the most liked. Big up Rahil. He goes, Jordan's waffle per minute, Turkish's moans per minute, Lee's honesty per minute, and James' tactics per minute are quite impeccable. Love to you all. The best pod on YouTube. Keep up the great work. Come
I like that. I like that. Stats are infiltrating everyone's brain, you see.
Yeah.
You don't realise I'm getting in all your heads. It's brilliant.
Who's up next?
All right, I've got 2. And actually, this one really wasn't comment of the... Well, I wasn't going to read this one out, but I just think it's so fitting that a week on, this same comment could be just copied and pasted. Special K2720 says, this guy with his wingspan is just ridiculous sometimes. Give Raya credit. A week on. But I love this as well. From Ronnie Pickering says, and I know that you love that name, Turkish.
I love it.
He goes,
Ronnie fucking Pickering. You what? Ronnie fucking Pickering. You what, mate? Who are you then? Oh,
You know what?
I've never seen it till you showed me.
It's a classic. It's a classic.
It's a classic. Yeah.
you want some, do ya? You want some? Come pull over. Oh, bro. Nah.
You know who I am?
He goes,
No.
Who are you then?
Ronnie Pickering.
Who?
You see what you done, James? You see what you done?
Classic. Sorry.
well, just for the name alone, I guess it's one of the comments of the week. And then he goes, Jordan reading out comments of the day, and the one about James getting a pay rise. In his head, he's thinking, these motherfuckers are getting paid.
Oh my God.
Well done on the name and the comment there, Ronnie Pickering.
Yeah.
I'll go next because mine's I'm a little bit peaked, right? And I'll try and keep it brief. There was a few comments that were dropped in this week's show, and I noticed it at the back end of last year as well. A few people that are kind of insinuating that I'm not a real Arsenal fan. Do I really support Tottenham? Why am I so negative? Always bashing Arsenal, right? I just want to make the point to all the listeners and viewers. If you want to hear biased, naked, unadulterated pro-Arsenal opinions, there are plenty of people on the channel that can give you that, and other platforms as well. I'm never going to be the person that's not going to call out Arsenal when they do things wrong, when they play poorly, or they do things that I don't particularly agree with. The fact that I don't just automatically, side with Arsenal and everything, it's just not the person, the fan that I am. So just get used to it. When people do stuff good, I will praise it. When they do stuff poorly, I will call it out. But there seems to be lots of fans in the comments that are like, Jordan's not really an Arsenal fan. He doesn't support Arsenal. Is he secretly a Spurs fan? It's like, nah, bro. I'm just not biased. I'm balanced. And I will always be balanced. So to all those comments that were trying to come for me and say, oh, I'm not really an Arsenal fan. I love my football club. But everybody can get it. Even Arsenal.
You only like it.
It just annoyed me. Don't like what?
You only like it. You don't love it. We all love it. You only like
it. Shut to you,
And just so I avoid it, because I don't want to click the wrong link, who giving their Arsenal opinions naked on YouTube? Because that's not something I want to see.
No, you know what I mean. Sorry.
I know what you mean, Jordan.
Don't. Well, I can't say it's the most watched content on the Gooniverse, but it's something to try. And we'll wait and see if the community enjoy
it. How you know doing, James?
Do you think that speech is going to get you out of comments of the day or what?
No, but there was a few people. I've just mentioned a few. I ain't got no names.
Have you got one to at least read that and say "F you"?
Hang on. I don't want to single anybody out because it was quite a few.
I will -1 you as well. Lee and Jordan -1. Don't worry, man. It's still early in the season.
To sum up Jordan's speech, he basically just went, "Listen, guys, Griselda, Sex, Arsenal in that order." He's got
Hold that.
Yeah, got a flag. He just went that. Yeah, that's it. All right.
Go on, Lee.
Look, listen, I've got a few. There's a few taking off
lot,
Jordan, but I'm not gonna go. So I'm gonna go out. Shout out to Lee, the legend. Even Kai Havertz knows you're the biggest fan. He threw you the Lee Judges TV channel logo when he celebrated, like, you know. So there you go. I've just thought I'd get the Lee Judges TV bit in, like, you know.
What did he do? With the hand signal or something?
Yeah. So, like,
what's the Lee Judges logo? What's?
I don't know.
Someone ring Dan Potts, man. Get a grip of this.
It's with a little hammer on it. It's like with a little hammer, like, you know. The judge had. It's not actually called a hammer. What do they call it?
Gavel.
The gavel, like, yeah. No.
So what does Havertz do? Like the gavel and stuff?
I think he just went like that. I don't know. I just see the comment. I liked it.
You just seen? Nah. You are a minus. I'm sorry, people.
Why?
Community. This guy can't keep on doing this.
No, I've got other ones if you want. You want me to give you another one?
I was with you,
I don't
Lee,
want you
but
to give me another one. I want you to do your research prior to the show and have it screenshotted.
I have screenshotted. My favourite podcast, not because of the ball knowledge, because that is low. You know what I mean? I thought that was a bit out of order.
It's a bit rude.
But because of the chemistry. Love the banter and feel good atmosphere between you guys. No, really, the ball knowledge is actually quite good. There you go. And I quite like those ones. I like the complimentary ones. I don't like to dig out Jordan. Like I did put one about Jordan if you want, like, you know.
I don't mind getting
you know what I mean? I've got this one. Like, you know, the guy with the wingspan. You know what I mean? What's going on? I could go down that route if I like to be nice and positive.
Do you remember when Lee's comment of the week was something about Wi-Fi?
Oh yeah, do you remember that? Do you remember?
What is it like, now? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I think Lee's Wi-Fi was struggling on this one. And he went, comment of the week for me.
Listen, that's the comments done.
Really informative, made me laugh.
Yeah, that's good enough. That's good enough.
He just clicked on newest. He went on newest comment. Well, I'll go with that one.
Yeah. Oh, listen, I didn't know how to do that until about 6 weeks ago.
Lee gets away with murder, and you lot don't see it on this show. It's only me that gets stopped.
I agree.
It's only me that gets stopped. But this year, Lee will be put on trial.
If you're getting up, you didn't turn up a week ago, like, you know what I mean? You know, yes, you forgot to change your alarm. That is not an excuse. That is still a foul.
Okay, so what about you sent the link 5 minutes before? 5 minutes that's a whole heap of seconds you got to type in a bloody.
I'm not getting up early on a
15-digit
Sunday morning with you've got as much reliability as Tottenham Hotspur's defence. I am not getting up until that link comes in the thing. And 5 to I know you're doing it. I know he's going to be like, you're an horrible person. We know that. And I'm looking at it, I think like 5-2, he's put that on, like, you know what I mean? Like, well, start putting it on around. Why couldn't you put it on last night? Why couldn't you have done it last night? Why have you got to do it 5 minutes before we go on air?
I don't have to. It's a choice I made.
Yeah, because you're a Joey. That's why. That's what I'm saying, like, you know what I mean?
I get abuse in the comments. I get abuse on the panel. Well, what can I do, people? Love for the love, as always. Hit the like button. Go over, subscribe to the channels, Gooniverse, whisper it loudly. Lee Judges TV with a hammer or something as the logo. And yeah, Turkish LDN is where you can find me. Love for the love. We'll be back again real soon, people. Hope you've enjoyed. Peace. We're out.